Hi guys, welcome back to Aisha.Academy. And in today's video, we're going to be going through the differentiation rules, your chain rule, quotient rule, and your product rule. So first off, we're going to start off with our product rule. And if you think about it, right, product is to do with multiplication, right? And it's kind of like that. So if you have an equation where you've got y is equal to u times v, so u being something, v times v being something else, and you're working out the derivative of that, this is the formula. So it's your u multiplied by the derivative of v, add v times your derivative of u. And please, please, please make note of this, because unfortunately this formula is not given in the formula booklets for all the exam boards, so you do need to memorize this. So we're going to go through an example question where it uses the product rule and how to kind of identify it. So for instance, if we've got this equation, right, if I've got two complicated like semi-equations multiplying each other, I'm going to think, product rule. So I'm going to make my u equal to x cubed minus 2x, and I'm going to make my v equal to ln x. Then what I'm going to do is work out the derivative of u, which I've got a video link above of basic differentiation to refresh your memory on that. And so the derivative of u will be 3x squared minus 2. And then now I'm going to work out the derivative of v. And when it comes to working out the derivative of ln x, this is just a set standard thing to memorize. It's always 1 over x, so please do make note of that as well. So now essentially you're going to have the u multiplied by dv by dx, and you're going to have the v multiplied by the du by dx. And notice how it makes a cross pattern, because you're kind of multiplying. It's product rule, right? So to work out your dy by dx, you're going to use the formula above. So it's going to be your u, which is your x cubed minus 2x, multiplied by your 1 over x. But we can write this as x cubed minus 2x over x. And so that's that part. And then that's going to be added to our v multiplied by the derivative of u. So that's going to be our 3x squared minus 2 multiplied by our ln x. And so now our final answer, when we simplify this all together, so the 3x cubed minus 2x, if we divide that by x, that would leave us with x squared minus 2, and then the 3x squared minus 2 multiplied by ln x, we can't simplify that further. So that's just going to remain the same. And basically, this all together is going to be your final answer. So onto quotient rule. So quotient rule, rather than dealing with two things multiplying each other, is dealing with if you have a fraction format as an equation. So in the format of y equals u over v. So anytime you see fraction, automatically think quotient rule. So this formula is dy by dx. So the derivative of y is going to be equal to, rather than things adding each other, it's going to be your v multiplied by the derivative of u. So it's kind of like swapped compared to the product rule. And this time it's going to be minus, rather than add, u multiplied by the derivative of v. And that's not just it this time. Unlike product rule, all of this is going to be divided by v squared, which is very important to remember. So again, unfortunately, you do need to remember this formula, because they do not give this in the formula book either. So please, please, please do memorize it. Okay, so now we're going to go through an example past paper question where it uses quotient rule. So we've got to differentiate e to the power of x over 2x plus 1. So I'm going to make my u equal to e to the power of x. And I'm going to work out the derivative of u, which, if you remember from my exponentials or logarithms video, or if you just remember, derivative of e to the x remains the same. So that's just that. I'll put the link above to refresh your memory on that. And then if we're working out the derivative of v, which is equal to 2x plus 1, I've got an explanation of working out the derivatives normally in my basic differentiation video, which I'll also stick in the link. That would just be equal to 2. And then sticking everything that we've worked out into the formula. So our dy by dx will be equal to 2x plus 1 multiplied by e to the x. So we can write that as e to the x, and then in brackets we can put our 2x plus 1. And then that minus 2 times e to the x, which we can write as 2e to the power of x. And remember, this is going to be over our v squared, and our v is 2x plus 1. So you can just put 2x plus 1 in the brackets and then square those brackets. So now we need to simplify this. So the first thing we can do is expand the brackets. So it's going to be of the numerator. So that's going to give us 2x e to the power of x plus e to the power of x, and then our minus 2ex is going to remain unchanged. We are going to keep the denominator the same because usually with these questions, you don't really want to change the denominator unless you can notice that it can be simplified further, then change it. But in this case, we haven't seen anything that indicates that we can simplify this further by expanding, so we're not going to. Then we can see that the numerator all have a common factor of e to the power of x, and so we can factorize, single bracket factorization, put e to the x on the outside of the brackets, and inside of brackets that would leave us with 2x plus 1 minus 2. And again, can't see anything to give a reason to expand the denominator, so we're going to keep it the same. And then last but not least, we're going to simplify the numerator. So this will leave us with a final answer of e to the power of x on the outside. In our brackets, it's going to be 2x minus 1. And again, we don't see any reason to expand the brackets, and so that will be your final answer as the denominator. So your denominator will just remain as 2x plus 1 squared. And that's it for that question. And now the last rule of the day is chain rule. So chain rule is a bit different in the sense. So if we were to work out the derivative using chain rule, this would be your formula. So your formula would be dy by dx is equal to dy by du this time. You're probably thinking, why is that? We're going to go for an example later. But it'll be dy by du multiplied by du by dx. And again, lastly, this one is also not given in the formula book, so please learn it. So example past paper question using chain rule. So we've got y is equal to e to the power of x squared minus 9. So chain rule is when you substitute something in the equation with u to make it easier to differentiate. So we can substitute our x squared minus 9 as u. So this is going to change it to y is equal to e to the power of u, which is nicer to differentiate. We're going to work out the derivative of u, which will be 2x, and then now we can work out the derivative of our dy by du, so that's where that's come from, and that's going to be equal to e to the power of u. And then we're going to substitute those things in the formula, and so that's going to be our 2x multiplied by e to the power of u. And then last but not least, we're going to substitute u for its form in x. So that's going to leave the final answer of dy by dx being equal to 2x times e to the power of x squared minus 9. And that's it, guys. I hope that was really useful. If you have any questions, please comment down below. And yeah, please share, like, subscribe, do all of that. And thanks for watching.